Welcome to IBM's Tennis Insights. I've been joined by Mats Wilander and we're going to preview the match that will open the 2015 Wimbledon Championships on centre court on Monday. It's Novak Djokovic, the defending champion, against Germany's Philipp Kohlschreiber. And whilst it might look like an easy route to the second round for the world number one, think again. Philipp Kohlschreiber is ranked number 33 in the world. The top 32 players have been seeded for this year's Wimbledon Championship. So Mats, he's missed out on being seeded by one spot and he's only gone and drawn the world number one. It's got to be an unlucky one for him.
It is unlucky. I think it's unlucky for both of them. And I think what's happening in the last few years in the Grand Slams, when they seed 32 players, the top players really aren't that ready the first few rounds. So I always felt that you can beat the best players in this first or the second round.
Okay, well, when we look at IBM data from last year's Wimbledon final with Novak Djokovic against Roger Federer, and we look at baseline play, Novak Djokovic won 93 baseline points, mainly due to the strength of his backhand. Roger was only able to force 19 backhand errors from the Serbian, but 38 on the forehand side. So do you expect to see Philipp going for Novak's forehand?
I think that when you take a chance, you got to go to Djokovic's forehand because his backhand is so solid. And again, especially when the ball is bouncing as low as it does the first few rounds. But at the same time, Djokovic goes for more winners on the forehand side. So therefore, he's also going to make more unforced errors. But Djokovic is so solid over both sides. I think you can't have a very simple game plan. You got to mix up your shots. You got to come to the net sometimes. But yes, definitely the forehand early on in the tournament, I think, would be a little bit of a weakness.
Well, you mentioned the net. When we look at the net play from last year's Wimbledon final, Novak Djokovic has been so improved, really thanks to his coach Boris Becker's influence, and he won 7 of 8 points through serve and volleying. It depends where he tends to lay the approach shot coming up to the net. Do you expect to see more of that? And if so, where do you expect him to land his approach shots against Philipp?
Well, I think against Roger Federer last year in the finals, it's pretty simple to play against Federer, I think, when you do come to the net, because you got to come into his backhand side. His backhand is not as strong as his forehand. Against Philipp Kohlschreiber, his backhand is very strong. And I think you're going to serve to Philipp Kohlschreiber's backhand, because when you have a one-handed backhand, your return of serve is never as good as if you have two hands.
Well, when we look at the returns, Roger Federer only won 44% of his second serves in last year's Wimbledon final, so it's going to be vital that Philipp Kohlschreiber maintains a high first serve percentage. And also, Mats, when you look at where they land that serve, Novak Djokovic, again, so much stronger on his backhand side, winning 70% on his backhand side and really only 59% on his forehand side. So do you expect to see Philipp going for the forehand target again?
I do, yes, I do. I think most guys on grass are going to go to their opponent's forehand way more than on other surfaces, because the ball skids through the surface, it stays low, and most players have a longer swing on the forehand side. It's a bad draw for Kohlschreiber, but it's nearly worse for Novak Djokovic because you don't expect to play somebody as good as Philipp Kohlschreiber in the first round.
Well, it's set to be quite the first round encounter, and it will open play here at Wimbledon for day one of the 2015 Championships, and we'll be back tomorrow with more IBM Tennis Insights.